What's good, Tamers? This is Akaro from Lockout Games, bringing you a match between Commandramon and Shinegreymon. Starting off the game, we have the Commandramon player hatching a Summon and then Digivolving into the On-Deletion Commandramon. Then they're going to hard play Dracomon for 3, being able to look at the top 3 cards of their deck and pull any card that has Drummon in its name. And every single Digimon in this deck is going to have Drummon, so they're going to be able to look for pretty much any Digimon as they want, but it's going to pass the turn over to the Shinegreymon player with 3 memory. So starting off the turn with a decent amount of memory, we see the TK coming down from the Shinegreymon player, and it looks like they pull a Reinforcement Memory Boost, which as we all know is a very powerful card and very strong in most yellow decks. So we see the promotion coming up for the Commandramon, and it's going to go ahead and swing in, hitting a Wyvern's Breath, and they're going to take out the Dracomon with that, leaving the Commandramon alive so that it doesn't replace itself, and then the Commandramon player going with the Izzy Azumi to see what the top 3 cards are. So all 3 cards were Commandramon, so that's going to be good for the On-Deletion Commandramon, and normally that'd gain 1 memory, but it's not going to matter with the TK on the Shinegreymon player's field. And then we see the Dual Tamer, TK, and Kari coming down. That's what, Shinegreymon players really want to do, is start setting up the Tamers as early as possible so that you get the maximum effect out of Shinegreymon. Going back over to the Commandramon player, we see them hatch a Pagumon, and then going into the 5000 DP Commandramon. So this one's going to be pretty strong and able to survive, and then we see another On-Deletion Commandramon coming out onto the field, followed by an attack by the previous one. It's going to run into a Bushi Agumon, which is actually going to destroy it, and we're going to see its effect come into play. So looking at the top 3 cards, which we do know one of them is a Commandramon, and they're able to put that directly onto the field, now having a blocker for next turn, and still at 0 memory, so they're able to continue on with this play. And lastly, we see the Digivolution into Sealdramon for 2, so having another blocker for next turn, and in a pretty good position with 5 security and 1 blocker on the field, and the Shinegreymon player still doesn't have any Digimon on the field, but they are actually going to go up to 5 memory due to the Dual Tamer, and they're just going to see another TK hit the field, and it looks like they're going to pull a Magna Angemon. So this is a pretty good pull from the security, as it's still their turn, so they're going to be able to play that if they want, going up to 4 security and setting themselves up for a Shinegreymon play next turn to start wiping out a lot of the stuff on the board. But we do see the Reinforcement Memory Boost from earlier coming down for 6 memory, and it looks like they're going to place the Kari onto the security, giving themselves 4 now, and also going to give themselves a decent amount of memory if they are attacked, as they will have 3 or less security. So the first attack for the Commandramon player hits Kari, bringing him down to 3 security. And then we're going to see the Black Memory Boost play from the Commandramon player. So this is going to let them look at the top 4 cards of their deck and then put any Black Digimon into their hand from there. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and grab the On-Deletion Commandramon. So looking to keep that offense up and to try and flood the board with Commandramons, that's what you want to do with this deck, and just create a wide board presence. From there, we see the 2-drop Commandramon with 3000 DP, followed by the Coredramon. So this is a nice addition to the deck, as it's going to let you draw 2 cards and really extend what you're able to do, especially when you have a lot of memory. And speaking of which, the Shinegreymon player is now at 9, so we do see the Belluchimon coming down. They do have 3 memory, so they are going to be able to draw 3 cards from this and really start to refuel their deck. And then we see the Digivolution into the Rise Greymon, playing down the Dual Tamer, TK, and Kari. So that's just going to pretty much set them up at almost 10 memory every turn now, as long as they have less security than their opponent. They go ahead and pop the Reinforcement Memory Boost, getting that 3 memory, and then going into Shinegreymon. So we have 5 Tamers in the back row. This is going to do a lot of damage, as the Commandramons aren't very strong, so you can normally just use 1 Tamer to take out 1 Commandramon. So looking at the board after the effects start to go off, it seems like they're going to get rid of as much blockers as possible, which makes sense, as they're going to want to be able to have a clear line of attack. And all that's left is going to be a Commandramon and a Coredramon, and then they play the Shakamon. So that's going to be a really big play, as a lot of these Commandramons aren't going to have Digivolution sources, or a lot of the Digimon on the Commandramon side in general, so they're not going to be able to attack in. So the Commandramon player hatches a Pagumon, and looks like they're going to Digivolve into the On-Deletion Commandramon, but they have a really uphill battle right now, as the Shakamon is really just going to shut down a lot of their offense. They pop the Black Memory Boost, going up to 9 memory, and then hard playing the Iron Fisted Onslaught. That's going to protect them from the Shinegreymon and losing a lot of security to its multi-security attacks, having that Rise Greymon underneath it. And then going into another On-Deletion Commandramon, passing the turn over to the Shinegreymon player, and with all the Tamers that they have, they're going to start off with 8 memory, and really have a lot of options for what they're able to do with all of that. One thing to note is we don't see a lot of hatching in the back row, so maybe they don't have a rookie, and we do see the yellow memory boost hitting the field, so maybe that's what they're looking for, or a level 6, but I don't think that they would put a level 6 on top of the Shakamon, as you really want to keep that on the board. It's really keeping back a lot of the Commandramons and all of these Digimon that don't have any Digivolution sources, so really protecting those 3 security and keeping you in the game. And then next up we see another yellow memory boost, so it looks like they're really fishing for a Digimon, and it looks like they're going to pull a Unimon out from this as well, going down to 2 memory, so still being able to play this turn with all of that extra memory that they got from those Tamers. And lastly, we see actually that Unimon coming down to the field, leaving the Commandramon player at 3, which they would have been at anyway with the Izzy memory resetting Tamer. So starting off the turn for the Commandramon player, we see them promote the on deletion Commandramon and swinging in. Looks like they're going to hit an Ankyomon, and with its security effect, it is going to go onto the field, but still delete the Commandramon. So they're going to get to look at the top 3 cards and put a Commandramon onto the field, but it looks like they might have whiffed, so that kind of hurts as it's not able to replace itself. But then we see the Commandramon player doing the thing that's the most scary and starting to count the Commandramon or the D Brigade Digimon in the trash, and that's probably going to signal a play of a Darkdramon, which we do see, and that's going to leave them at 0 memory. It does have Rush, but it's not going to be able to swing freely into the security as it still doesn't have any security attack to the Shikakumon. And then we see the Omnimon Zwart play on top of that. So you're going to pass over a lot of memory to the opponent, but you're going to be able to set up a nice board state, and you're going to be able to get rid of the Shikakumon if they don't get rid of the Omnimon Zwart. However, passing over to Shinegreymon, they have 10 memory now, and a lot of options, but they really need to deal with the Zwart, otherwise it's going to really hurt them and just open up the floodgates to these other Digimon that don't have Digivolution sources. But we see the Digivolving into the Rise Greymon, putting another Tamer onto the field, and then a Wyvern's Breath, so that's going to take out the Omnimon Zwart, which is very unfortunate, and still leaving them with 1 memory, and they still have the yellow memory boost in the background, so they can go back up to 3, but we do see the Magdramon hitting the field. That's going to bring them up to 4 security. It's going to give the Commandramon player a lot of memory, but if they're not able to deal with the Shikakumon, then they're not really going to be able to utilize all of it to the fullest extent, and Black doesn't have a lot of spot removal right now. But we do see the Pokemon going into the 3000 DP Commandramon, and then the hard play of the on-deletion Commandramon onto the field, followed by a Commandramon. So looks like they're looking for an answer right now, drawing 2 cards, and just from what we saw, it doesn't seem like they found any good removal, but they did play the Izzy and the Joe dual Tamer, and the Shinegreymon player goes up to 7 memory, so they're going to swing in with the Magna Angemon not being able to play anything, but it does hit another Zwart, and that's unfortunate that it was in the security, as that's another card that they would have liked to see being able to be played on the Commandramon side, and we do see the TK hitting the field, now using the security pretty much as an extended hand to pull whatever card they need. And you do see the Shinegreymon now going into the hand. That's going to be devastating as they're still able to play that on top of the Rise Greymon. And with the memory boost, they can not pass over the turn, and with all the Tamers that they have, they can really just pick apart all the Commandramons on the opponent's side of the field. So we do see Rise Greymon digivolving into Shinegreymon, and with 7 Tamers in the back, let's see what they decide to target with the ability. So first up is going to be one of the Commandramons, taken out with 2 Tamers, and then a blocker Commandramon, followed by the second Commandramon. This just leaves a squad of 4 Commandramon holding down the line. One thing to note though, the Shinegreymon should rest all of the Tamers, so one of these should actually be destroyed, but I don't think it's going to have a big effect on the game as the Shinegreymon attacks in, checking 2 security, and then it gets hit with the Ultimate Flare, taking that out. A small misplay here as the Ankyomon should be deleted as well, as it is D-Digivolve 3 and it is a level 4 with no level 3 underneath it. But we do see the Salamon being played on top of the Upamon in the back row, finally drawing a card and being one of the first rookies that the Shinegreymon player actually gets in this game. And then just hard playing a Unimon, sending the Commandramon player to 4, and then getting the boost of 2 from the Joe and Izzy dual Tamer. So starting off with 6 memory, we see them promoting the Commandramon now. And it is able to attack because it does have the Pokemon underneath it, but we do see the Unimon blocking that, setting off the Pokemon inheritable effect, looking and drawing a Commandramon from the top of the deck. And this 4 Commandramon squad is still just holding down the line right now, but not able to swing in freely right at the moment. The next play that we have is a Commandramon being played. So drawing 2 cards, it looks like the Commandramon player at this point is trying to look for an answer. That Shikakumon now is just really slowing down the deck. And a Dracomon is now played onto the field as well, looking and being able to pull the Commandramon, but without Digivolution sources, this really makes it hard for the Commandramon player to really affect the security at all. So they're going to go ahead and pass a turn to the Shinegreymon player. This turn, though, they're not going to start off with a lot of memory as they have 4 security, so the Karis are not going to be activated, and they do have more security than their opponent, so the Dual Tamer, Kari, and TKs aren't going to activate. The Shinegreymon player is going to swing in with the Ankyomon, which is going to be taken out by the Dartramon, and then swinging in with the Salamon, also hitting another Dartramon. However, it's not going to matter too much as a Unimon would be able to attack in, or the Shikakumon, as there was no blockers on the Commandramon player side. But moving on into game number 2. So it looks like the Commandramon player is going to start off by hatching a Pagumon in the back row, and then Digivolving onto the 3000 DP Commandramon, drawing a card, and playing the Izzy-Azumi, so they're not going to be memory locked for the rest of the game. Looking at the top 3 cards, we do see 2 Commandramons, so they're not going to go down to 3 memory. However, they are going to be able to set themselves up for future turns as well. And really, the way to win this is to just try and get as many Commandramons onto the board before the Shikakumon comes out and stops that. But we do see the Upamon in the back row Digivolving into the Bushi Agumon, which kind of hurts for the yellow player, and then going into the Dual Tamer, TK, and Kari, with the 4 memory that they got passed over from the Commandramon player. And then Reinforcement Memory Boost, so passing over 6 memory, but looking at another Reinforcement Memory Boost and a TK. The TK is going to go on the top of the security stack, and then the Reinforcement Memory Boost going into hand. This card is just really good, as it gives you a lot of options for your next turn and a lot of memory. So Commandramon makes its way up to the front lines, and with 6 memory you have a lot of options, but we do see the Dracomon coming down onto the field, looking for some more Digimon to help support that, and we do see the Commandramon and the Blocker Commandramon, and it looks like they're going to take the Blocker Commandramon to help set up some defenses for future turns. Next, the Commandramon player goes for the 3-drop on deletion Commandramon, putting themselves at 0, but setting up a nice board presence, as well as going for the black memory boost, and it looks like they are going to whiff on this. That's unfortunate, putting 2 Iron Fisted Onslaughts to the bottom of the deck, so that's really good removal that they're just not going to have access to, and that really hurts, especially when we know that Shikakumon tends to shut this deck down, and it needs to be gotten rid of as soon as possible. I also do like the play that they didn't attack, not giving too much memory to the yellow player, as they do have that reinforcement memory boost and a dual tamer on their side. But we do see the Bushi Agumon coming up to the battle area, and then going in for the attack. So they're going to hit an Omnimon Zort, which is a shame that that's going to be in the security. Once again, you do want to see that going on top of the Dartramon, and then a yellow memory boost being played in the back row, setting them to 0, and it looks like they're going to pull the Ankyomon to their hand. And right here, really the big decision is going to be if they want to pop the Reinforcement Memory Boost to set themselves up to 3. But no, we do see the hard drop of the Shikakumon, and this is really going to slow down the Commandramon player, as they only have 1 Digimon that's able to attack right now and actually do some damage to the security. But we do see the Pokemon being hatched in the back, and then popping the Black Memory Boost to go up to 10, so we're looking to see some big plays from here, maybe Digivolving or getting into a Dartramon. We see the Commandramon 5000 DP going on the Pokemon in the back, and then the Iron Fisted Ocelot to take care of that. So they did have a 3rd one in their hand, and that is a great play from the Commandramon player, as now they're able to pretty much just swing away. First thing they hit in the security is going to be a TK, and they're going to resolve that effect. Let's see what they pull. So it looks like they pull a Glorious Burst, and they're going to replace that card as it was yellow and still stay at 5 security. The next swing, we have the on deletion Commandramon, and it's going to hit a Shinegreymon, triggering the effect, which is what you want to see as a Commandramon player. Looking at the top 3, and you do see the Dartramon, which kind of hurts, but it's going to replace itself with a 5000 DP Commandramon. So being able to continue this assault right now, and going in with the 3000 DP Commandramon, hitting a Shinegreymon, which they really want to see that go into the trash. So this is just a very good effect. Also, the Pokemon going off and bringing the Commandramon to hand, and then hard playing the Blocker Commandramon, setting up some solid board presence. Now, the Shinegreymon player is actually going to get +2 memory because of the Dual Tamer, and they're going to go into the 2nd Reinforcement Memory Boost, looking like they're going to get a Kari onto the top of the security stack, going up to 4. And at this point, threatening 6 memory on the next turn if they decide to use them all at the same time. But we do see the use of one of them, setting them back up to 4 memory, and hard playing an Ornismon. So this is going to destroy one of the level 5 or lower Digimon on the opponent's side of the field, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and get rid of one of the blockers for that. And the big thing with Ornismon is it also has security attack +1, so it's going to start representing a little bit of a clock for the Commandramon player. But we do see the 5000 DP Commandramon moving up to the front lines, and it's going to go ahead and swing into the security, bringing them down to 3, hitting a Kari off the top from the reinforcement memory boost that we knew was there from last turn. The second swing going into security, hitting the Shinegreymon, so now we know that there's one less in the deck or the hand of the Shinegreymon player, and then the final attack going into the security, hitting a dual tamer, which is really going to give them a lot of memory for next turn, and then 2 blocker Commandramons hitting the field, finally a Commandramon setting them to 6, and at this point giving them that much memory doesn't really matter as they could have gotten there anyway, but you're at least able to draw cards and start looking for win conditions, as well as flooding the field with as many Digimon as possible for the next turn. So we do see the hatching of the Koromon in the back row from the Shinegreymon player, and it looks like they're going to decide whether or not they want to attack in right now. So they decide to swing in with the Ornismon. Now this is a misplay, as the dual tamers should only be able to work as long as it's a yellow Digimon swinging in. However, this isn't going to greatly affect the game, as only one of the Commandramon is going to go down to this, the other one blocking that security +1 attack. And then we see the Magnangemon coming down onto the field, giving the Shinegreymon player 1 more security. The second reinforced memory boost is popped, bringing them back up to 6 memory. And then we see another dual tamer hitting the field, so this is just once again going to give them a lot of memory on their turn. And then a Magnadramon hitting the field, sending the Commandramon player to 9, but also bringing them up to 4 memory for the Shinegreymon player, pretty much undoing a lot of the attacks that just happened. And you hate to see it. It really does hurt, especially when you're a rush-based deck. But the Commandramon player goes into the Pagumon, and then Digivolving the on-deletion Commandramon on top of that in the back row. So the Commandramon player is in a very interesting spot because they want to go ahead and attack in while they can before a Shikakumon hits the field. However, they don't want to give the Shinegreymon player too much memory by making their security lower than their own. So they do swing in with the 5000 Commandramon, and it does hit a reinforcement memory boost. As we know, it's just a powerful card, getting that +3 memory, especially when you get to play it for free from the security. And then another Dracomon going into the Bushi Agumon, followed by the Commandramon, and that's going to hit a... looks like a Mechanarimon, so that's also going to get deleted, which is a shame. And they're brought down to 1 security right now, and they're just going to go into a Sealsdramon, and sadly it's going to be rested, so it is left there. And then Izzy and Joe hitting the field after that. In case it does get deleted, they're going to be able to draw some more cards from that. But with Yellow being able to replace as much security as they do, and just getting this many Tamers on the board so that they have as much memory as they can on their following turn, it's really tough to try and come back from that. We're going to see an on-deletion Commandramon hit the field, passing the turn over to 2, and then just with all the Tamers that are in the back row for the Shinegreymon player, they're pretty much going to go up to 10 and be able to do an insane amount right now on the board, especially with a reinforcement memory boost in the back. I don't really see too many outs right now for the Commandramon player, as this is a very, very strong board presence for the Shinegreymon player, as well as the Magnadramon being able to trigger because they do only have 1 security and can still Digivolve on top of the Magnangemon. But we do see the Ornismon swinging in, hitting an Ultimate Flare, which is just a shame because there is no Digivolution sources on any of these, so it pretty much just doesn't affect anybody. And then now Digivolving on top of the Magnangemon into the Shinegreymon. Now once again, you should be resting all of your Tamers and using the effect as listed on the card. This could give the possibility of the Commandramon being deleted and then another one hitting the field, so that next turn it would possibly represent lethal if they did have only 1 security left. But with this being yellow, I imagine that there's probably a way that they can actually gain more security and keep that from happening. But we do see the Ankyliamon being Digivolved on top of the Salamon in the back row, followed by a swing in from the Shinegray, followed by the Magnadramon. Not using the Magnadramon's effect right now, so they might not have a rookie in their hand to actually play. and then hitting the Glorious Burst to go ahead and still delete that Commandramon, this time using a decent amount more memory than they really needed to, especially if they use the Shinegreymon effect. So we do see a whiff from the ability from that, and then going back up to 3 memory with the boost, and then a Sakuyamon to just make sure that the Sealdramon isn't able to really attack. That's just a really, really locked down play right there. And we do see the Commandramon player not boost up the Sealdramon, but they go ahead and play the Iron Fisted Onslaught, which is actually going to take out multiple Digimon, and kind of a last-ditch effort, going ahead and getting rid of 3 of the Megas. And right here, they should be at 1 memory, and the Commandramon should actually pass the turn, but we'll find that it doesn't actually matter for this one, as they don't really have any more outs. So a couple of these cards being played, like the Commandramon, actually wouldn't be on the field right now. And then finally passing the turn, going into another Commandramon, and then with no blockers, the Shinegreymon player is able to just attack him with any other Digimon, which we're going to see, and that's going to be the end of Game 2. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the match. If you did, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Really loving the growth of the channel and all the support that you guys are showing right now. And because of that, please stay tuned for a future video on a giveaway that I'm going to do for BT-7. So, with that being said, let's get that gate closed.